Hey friends! What time is it? Get ready because in this video I'm going to show you everything you need to learn about the time in English. So stay tuned. I'm Teacher Prix and I want to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. This is lesson 29 of the Beginner's Guide. There will be 30 lessons in total, and next year I will be making videos for the second part of the Beginner's Guide, with more lessons, more exercises, and more tips to help you become a more confident speaker. First, one important thing you need to know is, in American English, they use the 12-hour clock. For me to know if 10 is in the morning or at night, I will have AM or PM. And that will help me know if it's before noon or afternoon. Right now, it's 10 a.m. It's 10 in the morning. Okay, so this is the first thing you need to learn about the time in English. Another thing you need to know, exact hours. So right now it's 10:00, exact. So it's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Priscilla, do I need to use o'clock every time I'm talking to someone and it's o'clock? Do I need to use it? Not necessarily, okay? But keep in mind that if you want to emphasize that it's o'clock, not 1 minute more, not 1 minute less, then use o'clock, okay? Now that you know o'clock and the AM and PM, let's focus on telling the time, okay? I will divide the explanations in two parts, the first half and the second half, okay? Why? Because it's easier for you to understand the time that way, okay? Now, if you don't remember numbers in English, it'll be difficult for you to say the time. So study the basic numbers from 1 to 100. This is a basic need for any English speakers, knowing the numbers from 1 to 100, okay? So let's focus on the first half. What is the first half of the time? From 1 minute to 30 minutes. So I will show you how to say the time from 1 minute to 30 minutes. And there is a very basic way to say the time in English. You say the hour, and then you say the minutes. So for example, this time you see on the screen, it's 2, the hour, 2:10, the minute. And you can do this with any time. 1, the hour, 20, 1, 5, 4, 32, 5, 15. So this is the most basic way to say the time in English. Now, there is another way to say the time which can be a little bit confusing for students. In this different possibility, you are going to say minute. After, you need the word after, hour. So let's imagine this time here on the screen. It's 10 after 1, the hour. So here we invert. First we say the minute. Then we use the word after, and then we say the hour, okay? Can we do this with any minute? As I said, the first half from 1 to 30, okay. Now, there are some things you need to know. Look at this time, 3:15. The basic way, hour plus minute, 15. Now, there is a different way to do it. You don't need to say 15. You can say a quarter, okay? In the different possibility where I use after, you can say it's a quarter after 1 or after 3. I don't remember now which time I put on the screen. Teacher, can I say it's 15 after 3? You can, but it's not common. Native speakers don't usually say it's 15 after 3. They use it's a quarter after 3. Then it's fine. 15 after 3, no, okay? You should say 3:15. No problems. But if you want to use the word a quarter, then you say a quarter after 3. This time, see? 30. There are two possibilities for you to say this time in English. You can use the basic way, 3:30, 1:30, 4:30. Or you are going to use half past and then the hour. So 1:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, and so on. But teacher, can't I use after in this case? Half after 3? No, you should not say. You can't. Okay? Use half past and the hour. And that is the first half of your time. All right? So you learned two possibilities. The basic one where you learn the hour plus the minute, 2, 10, 2, 5. You learned that there are different ways to say 15 and 30. Okay? Now let's move on to the second part of the clock, the second half. And here we have the basic possibility again. You can say 3:31, the hour plus the minute. You can say 3:35, 4:42, 4:51, 4:45. No problems, okay? But there is a different possibility. And in this case, it's not after, it's 2. But here it is a little bit different. You will count how many minutes to the next hour, okay? So let's imagine 3:40. To 4 o'clock, you will have 20 minutes. So you can say it's 20 to 4, okay? 20 to 4 is the equivalent of 3:40, okay? So it's always the minute to the next hour. You need the preposition to. So let's imagine it's 3:35. You can say 3:35, but you can also say 25 to 4, okay? And please keep in mind, you don't need to say the words minutes and hours. Don't, okay? Oh, it's 25 minutes to 4 hours. No, you don't say that in English, okay? You say the number. It's 25 to 4. You can say o'clock if you want. It's not entirely necessary, but if you want to, you can. You can say PM or AM if it's relevant to the conversation. One thing that I like to tell my students is, if I can understand that it's afternoon, that it's morning, that it's evening, you don't need to say PM. Imagine you are on the street and someone stops you and asks, "What time is it?" You can say, "Oh, it's 4:25. The person knows it's PM, okay? The person is outside, so you don't need to say PM. But if you are talking about an appointment on the phone, you are telling about something you have to do in the future. Oh, I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow at 5 p.m. That would be okay, all right? So let's imagine it's 3:45. You can say the basic way, 3:45, but you can also say a quarter to 4, okay? So this a quarter represents 15. Oh, and now that you know the hours and minutes, there's one thing you need to know about the 12, okay? There are two ways to say. You can say the number 12, all right? It's 12 p.m. or a.m. For a.m., you can say midnight. It's midnight, okay? So we have the word midnight and we have the word midday, okay? You can also say noon, all right? Or you can say the number 12. So I have an appointment at 12:45 p.m. These are the basic rules for you to talk about the time, okay? Watch this video again, repeat it, but hey, there's more. Questions to ask the time. You can say, what time is it? All right? And usually if someone asks you this question, start with it's. It's 4 o'clock. It's 2 p.m., okay? Teacher, do I always need to start this way? Not really, but I like to teach what is right. And then you can balance and think about when you use and when you don't, okay? The second question you can use to ask the time. Do you have the time? Okay, it's also common. Do you have the time? Excuse me, do you have the time? Or, excuse me, what's the time? Okay, so what's the time? Do you have the time? What time is it? Are very common questions to ask for information, to ask for the time. Okay, now I'm not talking about an appointment or something I have to do. I'm just asking for information. What time is it? Okay? Now, there is another question you can ask that is connected to time. Remember the previous videos where I showed you W8 questions? Yeah, there's another one. Well, it's basically the same, what? But I can use what with the word time. What time do you get up in the morning? What time do you go to work? To answer this question, you will need the preposition at. So, for example, Priscilla, what time do you get up? I get up at 6 a.m. Okay? I go to work at 7 a.m. So this is the preposition you will use when you are describing appointments and you're telling the time you do things in English. Okay? Now, I have an exercise for you, and there will be no subtitles in this part. I will tell you 10 different times, and you have to post your answers in the comments, okay? So I will say the time here, and you have to write down the correct answer. So here we go. 1, 7 a.m. 2, 2:45. 3, 2:30. 4, 10:15. 5, 2:15. 6, 10:20. 7, 6:25. 8, 11:15. 9, midnight. 10, noon. Very nice. I hope to see your answers here in the comments. And if you liked this video, help me out, help this community grow, and share this video with your friends on your social media, on Facebook groups, on Google Plus groups, on your Twitter, and help more people learn English and become more confident speakers. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you probably tomorrow. Bye!